بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. أسأل الله تبارك وتعالى أن يجعل نياتنا خالصة لوجه الكريم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Inshallah tabaraka wa ta'ala. I pray that all of you are well. Inshallah tabaraka wa ta'ala. We're going to continue in our reading of these opening books of the English translation of Reliance of the Traveler, because we are reminding ourselves of our journey in what we are doing in these morning classes. I want to say something to you. We, on this platform, 3453 family, right? We are on a mission. And as everyone has their mission, we have ours. And our mission is to get the traditional knowledge of Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah to our communities specifically, and in general to the Ummah from our aspect. We're not trying to do what others want us to do. We're not interested in that. I'll repeat. On this platform, we're not trying to do what others would like us to do. We're not interested. If you want us to do what you want to do, go to your platform, and if we like your content, we'll join you. Right? This is just as a benefit. What we're doing on this platform, myself and everyone who comes on this platform as teachers, we have a specific mission we got. It's clear, unambiguous, and we're directly straight with it. If you benefit, mashallah, it's a blessing. If it's not your cup of coffee, mashallah, go do your own thing, and maybe we like what you're serving and we would come join you. Is this fine? Does it work? Like, we got our own work. We have a mission. We got something we're doing. Right? That's it. It's fine. If you want to do something else, ahlan wa sahlan. The doors of the internet, the doors of platforms are wide open for everyone. There's somebody has a platform for pet rocks. If you want to study pet rocks, it's available for you. Right? But if you want what we have to offer, our doors are open. Right? If you don't want what we have to offer, you just want to steal our material, just steal the material, use it, and go build your platform. It's fine. It's not copyrighted. You're welcome to steal our lines, to use whatever you want, as we stole it from somebody before us. So go ahead. You're welcome. Island was island. It's fine. It's okay. Now I'm having fun early in the morning. I've been up since Fajr having fun. We cannot be boring people, right? Don't be boring. Black people have fun. We enjoy ourselves, we crack jokes, and then we get serious too. Have a combination. All work and no play makes Johnny a dull boy. Don't be dull, right? You have to have some fun, okay? It's not haram to have fun. And that's why people tap dance. They're having fun. They're dancing and smiling, right? This is fun. Give them they have the right to dance. Even if there's no music, they can still dance. It's okay. Don't take the people's right to dance. No, I'm messing with you. All right, Bismillah. Now that I got all my fun out, let's get busy. So we reached up to the section. He said, just spit out my coffee. Oh, sorry, Fatima. They've been starting with me early in the morning. And last night, they were in my inbox. So I got to have some fun too. You know, good. So we're talking about our methodology on a serious note. Our methodology is the methodology of Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah. We are Ash'aris and Maturidis in creed. We follow the four schools, Hanafi, Maliki, Shafi'i, Hanbali. And we are on the way of Tasawwuf. And every other Islamic science, we take it with an unbroken chain of transmission back to the authors of those books or the founders of those sciences, and from them back to the Prophet, salawatullahi wassalamu alayhi. That's our methodology. With an African American twist. I gotta be honest, with an African American twist. So it is the same thing, but in our way. Every culture has its way of expression. We have ours. No one goes to anyone else and say, why you have your cultural expressions? They just accept. We have our cultural expressions. Accept. That's it. Right? So that's the only thing you're going to get different is we have a cultural expression that's unique to us. And we convey that same knowledge with our expression. That's it. So among those things that we must convey is the necessity of following qualified scholarship. And qualified scholarship sometimes is in living teachers and relied upon books, the combination of both. So let us read. We're on page 15. Inshallah, we've been through this before, so we're going to go through it kind of quickly. Inshallah, barakallahu bikum. Let us begin.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. The author, may Allah Ta'ala have mercy on him, said, B1.0, Introduction. Muhammad Sa'id Booty, Rahimahullah.
Muhammad Sa'id al-Booty, rahimahullah ta'ala, was a well-known scholar from Damascus, Syria, who was among the great teachers in that area, an Azhari scholar as well, and someone who I actually sat with face to face, eye to eye, mouth to mouth, heart to heart, spirit to spirit, and received knowledge from his route, right? So these matters, I heard him say it from his mouth to my ears. And as we read these things, we relate with our connection to him as he relates to his father and to other scholars in a continuous way back to the great imams of Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah. Now, go ahead.
What is the proof that it is legally valid and even obligatory to accept the authority of qualified scholarship, taqlid, when one is not capable of issuing expert legal opinion, ijtihad, on matters of sacred law? There are several aspects to it per narrator discussed in these sections that follow.
And we read this entire book, which is called Not Following a Madhab, a School of Thought, is the most dangerous innovation threatening the sacred law of Islam. So we read this book before. And this is a summary of the points. So this is the issue of at-taqleed, which is following one of the four schools of Islamic jurisprudence among Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah, meaning the Hanafi, Maliki, Shafi, or Hanbali school. Now,
B 1.2. Per narrator. For the key term qualified to issue expert legal opinion in Arabic, mujtahid, this ability being ijtihad, please turn to Book O and read O 22.1, Section D. The qualifications of an Islamic judge, Qadi. The difference between the qualifications for the imam of a school and those for a judge or a mufti is that the former's competence in giving opinion is absolute, excuse me, extending to all subject matters in the sacred law, while the competence of the judge or mufti is limited respectively to judging court cases or to applying his imam's ijtihad to particular questions. No age of history is totally lacking people who are competent in ijtihad on particular questions which are new, and this is an important aspect of sacred law, to provide solutions to new ethical problems by means of sound Islamic legal methodology in applying the Quranic and Hadith primary text. But while in this specific sense the door of ijtihad is not and cannot be closed, Islamic scholarship has not accepted anyone's claims to absolute ijtihad since Imams Abu Hanifa, Malik, Shafi'i, and Ahmed. If one studies the intellectual legacy of these men under scholars who have a working familiarity with it, it is not difficult to see why.
So here, one of the challenges we have in our time, especially in our environments, in our communities in America, and this is a serious thing, so we should discuss it. Listen, because something is uncomfortable, because something may cause or demand of you to make changes of things that become normal to you, don't get too sensitive where you can't listen and you can't accept truth when it comes to you. We live in a time where would-be scholars are performing surgery on our religion. While experts exist, and those people ignoring the experts, ignoring their work, ignoring the scholars in the field, and doing independent research without the skill set. That's a reality. Some by no fault of their own because they don't know any better, and some deliberately doing that. For us, we know that our deen, our religion, has reached us from qualified scholars, from generation to generation, generation. That's how we got our religion. And it was codified in these schools of thought. In terms of jurisprudence, that's how we received our religion. In terms of aqidah, from the same way, that's how we received our religion. In spirituality, tasawwuf, that's how we received our religion. In hadith, that's how we received our religion. In Quran, that's how we received our religion. In virtually every Islamic science, that's how we received our religion. From experts to experts to experts, to it reached us non-experts. But we rely upon those experts. It's not our own thing that we make up. But in our time, and what we encounter on an everyday basis is people who are trying to do the work of experts without that expertise and without referring to those experts. And this is a mistake. Is this point clear? Do y'all follow me clearly when I'm mentioning at this point? In all seriousness. Tell you, go ahead.
As for those who decry, quote unquote, hidebound conservatism and would open the gate of ijtihad for themselves while lacking or possibly not even knowing the necessary qualifications, if such
Here,
people.
repeat that again. Whenever someone says, I follow Quran and Sunnah, they are claiming ijtihad, expert legal opinion, meaning they're able according to their claim, whether they know it or not, what they are claiming is that they can read the Quran on their own or the Sunnah on their own and extract legal rulings. That is an expert. They're claiming that, even if they don't realize it. And then they're putting themselves in opposition to qualified legal scholars who reach the highest rank of legal scholarship. They're saying they're men and we men too. We can do what they do. But there is something that is missed here. They have the qualifications and you don't. That's the distinction. They actually put in the work and you didn't. So can we just follow the Quran? Someone who's qualified, maybe, with the other tools. But someone who's not qualified is committing a crime. So read that line again.
As for those who decry hidebound conservatism and would open the gate of ijtihad for themselves while lacking or possibly not even knowing the necessary
And
qualifications.
that last part is more than the first part. Lacking is one thing. You don't have the qualifications. That's one problem. What is worse is that you don't even know the qualifications. So you want to deduce Quran judgments. We just follow the Quran, and you don't even know the sciences of the Quran. You don't even have the tools to deduce the Quran. How are you doing that? And then you're going to make legal rules at that? This doesn't work. Now, go ahead.
If such people have not studied the rulings of a particular school and the relation between these rulings, the Quranic and Hadith primary text, and the school's methodological principles, they do not know how ijtihad works from an observer's standpoint, let alone how to employ it.
Right.
To ask,
So this is important. If the person doesn't know how it works, how are you going to do it? You don't even know how it works. You don't even know what it takes to do the job. But you want to operate on our religion. This is insanity. But it's been happening regular. It's been the norm. And I'm not saying, listen, at minimum for us, even if you just reading the books of the scholars and you stick into that, and then you're reading and memorizing. As you get more knowledge, you go to learned people. But we're talking about abandoning even the works of the scholars. Just abandon it altogether. Just open Yusuf Ali Quran or Muhammad Muslim Khan translation or some tafsir in English or Arabic or just reading Arabic, a couple hadith, Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, or maybe the 6 books, and then you just going for it. Come on. Really? We wouldn't let this happen in no other way of our life. Not in the medical field, not in the business field, not in the educational field, not in any aspect, not in fixing our cars, fixing our houses, doing our electric, cutting our grass. We're not going to do that. But it comes to our deen, just go for it. Don't matter. It's only Islam. Do what you want. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. No. Go ahead.
to ask them, for example, which of two equally authenticated primary texts that conflict on a legal question should be given precedence and why, is like asking an aspiring drafting student for the particulars of designing a suspension bridge. Answers may be forthcoming, but they will not be the same as those one could get from a qualified contractor. To urge that a mujtahid is not divinely protected from error, ma'soom, is as of little relevance to his work as the fact that a major physicist is not divinely protected from simple errors in calculus. The probability of finding them in his published work is virtually negligible. Regarding other long dead schools, such as the Dhahiriya, the difference between their work
The
and that.
Zahiriya was an old school that was started by one of the great Mujtahid scholars, Dawood al-Zahiri, and it was later uh, made well known by Ibn Hazm. But it has many, many, many problematic judgments in it because the way it was structured and those positions were not conveyed with an unbroken chain down to our time.
The difference between their work and that of the four living schools is firstly one of quality, as their positions and evidence have not been re examined and upgraded by succeeding generations of first rank scholars like those of the four schools, as discussed at W12. And secondly, the lack of verification of the actual positions of their mujtahids through reliable chains of transmitters, as described below at B7.6.
And this is an important point that I want to share with you. Every school, every madhab, right, of the four madhahib, Hanafi, Maliki, Shafi, Hanbali, because we're talking about fiqh in this case, but likewise, the schools of Aqidah, right, Ashari, Maturidi, from the time of the founder of that school, the one who the school is named after, until our day, number one, I want you to keep this in mind. Please write it. From the times of the Imams, all of who died by the mid third century. So from the mid second century to the mid third century, where those Imams passed, the four Imams. From that time, we're in what century now? What century, what Islamic century we in right now? Let's make sure we know what time we're in. What century are in right now? No, Akil, what kind of historian are you? 14th century? Ouch. You guys, get some coffee here. We're not in the 14th century. I said study history, not live in the past. We're in the 15th century. Exactly. I'm just messing with the historian, right? We're in the 15th century, as Haja Stacy mentioned, right? So the 15th century. So from the third century, mid third century, which was the death of Imam Ahmed in 241, all the way up today, which is we're in 1444, right? You're talking about 1,200 years. And 1,200 years, at every generation, there were hundreds of scholars at each level, all the way to our time, who have studied, reviewed, checked, clarified, expounded upon the judgments within that school. So you're talking tens of thousands of scholars, let alone teachers, let alone common people who have been following these schools. All of them acting according to the school, discussing the school, writing books on the school, examining the evidences of the school, examining the linguistic positions of the school for 1,200 years. And then this guy comes and says, I'm going to abandon all of that. I said that, and that's within one school. And now when you combine all four schools, wow. And this one comes, says, we don't need none of that. Just follow me. I'm good. I want you to think of it like that. Let me repeat. All of the Imams They died within the mid second to mid third century after Hijrah. Following them were at every level in every century, every level. And when I say level, I mean their students, the students of their students, the students of their students, and so on 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 for 1,200 years, globally, all around the world as they spread. Writing, doing all of that, that's in every school. When you and in every school, you're talking about tens of thousands of people, and men and women, and of all various types of expertise in the Islamic science, right? And then you're talking about in every school, and then someone's going to come tell you today, he's going to disregard all of that and say, just follow me, I got it. Don't worry, I'll deduce the Quran and Sunnah for you. Do y'all understand how wild such an assertion is? Even if the person doesn't realize that's what they're saying. It's crazy, right? But if we don't have access to this vast and lofty tradition, we won't understand how insane such a claim is, right? That's what someone's trying to tell us, right? It's really, really, but that's what's been given to us as Islam among us. Don't worry, we're on the Quran and Sunnah, made it a slogan, and then gave us that. And we abandon the whole religious tradition that was all around the world for 13 centuries. We just abandon it for that. I want us to think about that. Sometimes, you know, that Arsenio Hall used to have on his show, he had a segment on his show. He said things that make you go, Remember that? Things that make you go, Then he would do his little monologue or whatever. Things that make you go, That's one of those things that make you go, Really? Are you serious? Nam, go ahead.
B 2.0.
But guess what? It's commonplace around us. Someone's telling us in that, and we buy it. We really believe that stuff. So, you know, this is the point here. Go ahead.
B 2.0. The Quranic evidence for following scholars. B 2.1. Muhammad Sa'id Buti, Rahimahullah. The first aspect of it is the word of Allah Ta'ala the Majestic. Ask those who recall if you know not. Quran Surah 16, Ayah 43. By consensus of all scholars, ijma, as defined at B7.
And ijma is a source, a binding source of Islamic law. So you have the Quran, you have as-Sunnah, and you have al-ijma. So when there is ijma on an issue, that's a binding aspect of law, right? It's a binding aspect in our religion as Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah. Now,
this verse is an imperative for someone who does not know a ruling in sacred law or the evidence for it to follow someone who does. Virtually all scholars of fundamentals of Islamic law have made this verse their principal evidence that it is obligatory for the ordinary person to follow the scholar who is a mujtahid.
The ordinary person is the layman, the one who's not a scholar. And in this terminology, the one who does not have the ability to do expert legal opinion, which is called ijtihad. And that ijtihad has conditions and qualifications, which none of us meet. All right, let me make this broad. When I say none of us, I mean around the world, our Sunni tradition has not accepted in the whole entire world any individual's claim to that ability as an agreement. And when they explained that, they said it could exist, it's not impossible, but we don't know anyone who we accept their claim. I want to repeat that. Our scholars around the world, in this time and in the previous generations have not accepted the claim of anyone to have reached this level, and they agreed upon it as to follow their ijtihad. No one. So even when we read about those who actually reached that level, their level was, their rulings were normally in accordance with one of those imams. So therefore, even they reached this level, the nation has never accepted their independent ijtihad as a complete aspect of all the rules of the sacred law. Maybe in some cases, that's it. Do you understand how significant that is? And I'm talking about someone who's qualified. What about the non-qualified? That's qualified person. The nation has not agreed on that for nobody. So if we're in our time, there is no one on the face of the earth that we know of that we're going to accept that claim from. I don't care where they from. Do y'all understand? And really, that in itself is a protection for us from charlatans. That in itself is a protection, if you realize it. The fact that the nation has not agreed on that for anybody, so when someone makes such a claim, the nation rejects that. Do y'all understand? The nation of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We don't accept. And that's why the nation of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has all agreed on following one of these four schools. They don't accept. They don't accept for you to start talking about, and that's talking about people who's qualified. They didn't accept that from them. I'm going to start my own madhab. No one has been accepted from. Even, I don't care if they were Arab and Azharis and graduated from wherever. No one has accepted that from nobody. Do y'all understand how significant that is? This is not Amin Muhammad talking. This is true. Never accepted from no one. No one. It's always been rejected. After the establishment of these four schools in Sunni Islam. Now, in something else, people may do whatever they want. I'm talking about Sunni Islam. I'm talking about Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah. No one has accepted that from nobody. Hence, all of our greatest scholars follow the school. There wasn't no people walking around talking about I don't follow a madhab. Not real scholars. And no one accepted that. Do y'all follow my point? And this is not something that you just got to listen to me. You can research it. You show me anywhere after the time of those great imams and the establishment of their schools where the opinions were weighed and the dominant opinion was given. You show me anywhere where the Muslims as a whole agreed on not following a school of thought. Show me. And I'm talking about individuals. I'm talking about the Muslims as a whole, globally and historically, where they accepted that. Never. So when someone comes, you come in with something that contradicts the whole agreement of the Muslim nation. But if someone doesn't tell you that, you don't even realize how severe that departure is. You know, it's just, oh, we want to follow Quran and Sunnah. Come on, man. We all following Quran and Sunnah by the deduction of mujtahid scholars, not by your deviant opinions. We are following Quran and Sunnah by the deduction of mujtahid scholars, qualified legal scholars at the highest levels of qualification in Islamic legal jurisprudence. In jurisprudence, that's who we're following. We're not on our own deducing legal rulings without the qualifications. Y'all follow my point? Is this point clear? And if we get this point, right? If we get this point, this is a big source of cleaning up a lot of confusion in our communities, right? A big source. If we can just get this down and then we spread it and we teach it at our basic levels, everyone can contribute. Listen, when we want to learn the rules of the religion, we're going to follow one of those established schools, the established books within that school, which are well known, and from qualified teachers who learn with this unbroken chain. If we could just get that down, it would make a great difference in our communities in terms of preserving our religion. Go ahead.
Similar, B2.2. Similar to the above verse in being evidence for this is the word of Allah Ta'ala Most High. Not all of the believers should go to fight. Of every section of them, why does not one part alone go forth, that the rest may gain knowledge of the religion to admonish their people when they return, that haply they may take warning? Quran Surah 9, Ayah 122. Allah Ta'ala Most High prohibited the people to go out altogether in military expeditions and jihad, and ordered a segment of them to engage solely in becoming knowledgeable in the religion of Allah Ta'ala, so that when their brothers returned to them, they would find someone qualified to give them legal opinion on the lawful and unlawful, and to explain the rule of Allah Ta'ala, the glorious and exalted.
Let us stop there. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. So this point is very important, that we as common people, that means all of us, no exception, we need to follow qualified legal scholarship. Qualified legal scholarship is known in the Sunni tradition to be within those four schools. And those scholars have levels, right? There are levels within each school of scholars, right? And if I can give you some levels, I will give you in a summarized way, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. You have those scholars who reach the highest levels where they're qualified to do legal deductions from the primary sources of Islamic law in every legal case in the religion, in the sacred law. That's a high level. There's another level of those scholars who are qualified to deduce legal rulings following the methodological principles of those great imams who had that encompassing ability in all of the rules. So they're able to do it within the methodology of those who are above them in legal qualifications. Then you have another level under that are those scholars who are qualified to make independent legal judgments in new cases that were not discussed by the previous imams. So there are new cases that develop in time and place, and they reach the level of qualifications to give legal judgments on those new cases that were not discussed by previous great imams and scholars. Then you have another level under that are those who are qualified to weigh the various opinions of the scholars and to give weight to one opinion over the other based on the principles within the methodology of those schools. These are different levels, and all these levels are above our level of just common people. Y'all follow this? I'm giving you levels of scholarship. If there's any questions about what we discussed, please feel free to answer quickly, and then we'll stop. Allahu Akbar. And these things, even the ones who don't like the black imams, they know what we're saying is true in this issue. That's not like they don't contest, they just contest us. They don't like our style. But what we're saying, they don't disagree with that. They just don't like the style. I don't like how you get down, Ak. It's not what you're saying, it's how you get down. Right? So forget how I get down and just learn what I'm saying. It's okay. Right? Nah, no questions. We good? We clear? Everyone is understanding. We're all on the same page. Man, Fahim, you are burnout. Allahu Akbar. I'm surprised. No questions at all? It's all clear then, right? That's what that means? No questions means everyone understands and no one is confused. Am I right? It's all clear? We got it? What's for lunch? I don't know. MashaAllah. I don't know. What is for lunch? Can't have any more pizza, so I don't know. Okay, butter grits with sugar. That's for lunch. All right, we good. I love you, inshallah. May Allah increase all of us in goodness. Uh, may Allah make it easy for us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us. I'm telling you, even this small group, right? This small group, if we study well and all of us master to the best of our ability these lessons, and then we go teach, we can change the situation within the next 10 years. We can make a huge dent in these issues in our communities within the next 10 years. But everybody got to study well, learn well, and then be able to convey well, right? But if every one of us did it with this small group, because there's hundreds of us, but it's small in compared to some big celebrity imams and influencers who got thousands of people listening to them. We're talking hundreds, right? If we all just do well, right, in our studies and convey, we'll make a big change, right? Okay. All right. Barakallahu bikum. So that's what I'm hoping. So, because these are introductory things, we're actually going back to the actual studies after we finish these sections. So we're just making sure we all on the same page, right? Right. And I just want to share with you, right? Last point. one of the things that amazes me, and we should watch it, is people who's supposed to say the same thing we're saying. They believe the same thing, right? Supposedly. And their energy is concentrated on attacking us, but the ones who are way more influential than us, reaching way more people than us, who contradict us in belief, practice, spirituality, and they have nothing to say to them. Watch such a person, right? Listen, I'm going to repeat that. They're supposed to have the same belief as us, the same practice as us, the same understanding as us, yet they attack us and those who have way more followers, tens of thousands of followers, who contradict us and them in belief, practice, and spirituality. They have nothing to say about them. That should tell you something. How is your energy on us with our little bit of followers, and the one who's contradicting us in every aspect, you are silent about them? Isn't that strange? This, like, I mean, just really think about it. What's really going on with you? Like, come on, you're worrying about us with these little bit of people. It's got tens of thousands, right? Tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands. And they're talking totally against everything we talk about. And you have not one word for them, but all of your energy concentrated on us with our little black group. Ain't that strange? Like, who are you? Like, tell me, bro. That doesn't make sense. We're not even that influential. And you're on us, trolling us, watching us. And these people are reaching tens of thousands of people with something you consider misguidance. And you got all the energy to be worried about us and not them. Just things that make you go, right? I just, things that make you go, Okay, that was my. And so while you cheering those guys on, think about that. While some of our family is cheering them on, think about that. While you like, think about that. Just put that in your mind while you're liking. Wait a minute. Ain't that strange? Right. Okay, may Allah reward you all. Just sharing with you my scattered thoughts after the class. Barakallahu bikum. May Allah reward you. And inshallah, we'll continue. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamu alaikum.